Now, let's pivot from Greer's big picture theory to a single explosive piece of evidence investigated by researcher John Stewart. We're talking about a piece of footage that, if it's real, changes absolutely everything.
And that piece of footage is the alien interview tape. The story goes that back in 1991, this was smuggled out of a top-secret facility by a whistleblower. And what it supposedly shows is the telepathic interview of a living, breathing extraterrestrial being that was being held in captivity.
Now, the facility, according to Stewart's investigation, wasn't the famous S4 that you hear about in UFO lore. It was a different site called S2 Alpha. And he claims to have found documents showing this facility was built specifically in the early 1960s to be an alien housing center.
What's interesting is that Stewart approached this whole thing as a skeptic, trying to prove it was a hoax. But over 6 years, he compiled this case file of clues that he argues point toward it actually being authentic. So let's walk through them like a detective.
Stewart's case really boils down to 4 key areas: some highly specific language, a secret code hidden in plain sight, a really stunning eyewitness identification, and finally, a paper trail that seems to back up the whistleblower's identity.
Okay, first up, the jargon. The whistleblower, who is only known as Victor, describes the alien as medically flagging. Now, Stewart says this is a super obscure piece of government medical terminology from the Korean War era. It's a term that a young Hollywood hoaxer in the 90s, before the internet made research easy, would have basically no reason to know.
The second clue is just a single number, seen on the bottom of the tape next to an acronym. The number 27. On its own, it means nothing. But Stewart's investigation uncovered a potential bombshell meaning.
So this table breaks down the code on the tape, DNI 27. Stewart's sources claim DNI is the Department of Naval Intelligence, which is a denied agency that he says he later proved exists. But the key is that number 27. It's allegedly the numerical code for Yankee White, the highest security clearance you need to access the extraterrestrial program. It's a detail, he argues, a hoaxer couldn't possibly know.
But maybe the most stunning clue is a human one. You can see 2 medics in the footage. Stewart actually tracked down the widow of a U.S. Air Force doctor named Wilford Webb Wilson. When he showed her the footage, she positively identified one of the men as her late husband. She said it finally explained a lifetime of extreme secrecy that had almost cost them their marriage.
But what about the whistleblower, Victor?
Well, he just disappeared. Stewart claims he was sheep-dipped. It's an intelligence term for when your entire history is erased from official records to make you a ghost, severing any possible link back to the secret project you were part of.
And this is the final piece of the puzzle. Despite the sheep dipping, Stewart claims he found one document that slipped through the cracks, an entry log for EG&G, a major Area 51 contractor. And on that log, from the correct time period, is the name Victor used, Stanton John Willett. It's a potential paper trail that places the ghost right at the scene of the crime.